Well, this week, lawmakers questioned Secretary of State Hillary Clinton about the deadly attacks in Benghazi. Clinton will soon step down from her position, and many senators believe she leaves scores of unanswered questions in her wake. I spoke earlier with Republican Senator from Idaho, Jim Risch, who questioned the secretary at this week's hearings. Senator Risch, you've had a very busy week, chiefly the Benghazi hearings with Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. You asked her specifically about the whereabouts of one of the prime suspects. Were you satisfied with your answer? What did you hear from her?
Well, obviously I wasn't satisfied because I didn't get a complete answer. The reporting that we're getting from some relatively accurate sources is that a number of people that were involved in the Benghazi attack were also involved in this most recent attack in Algiers. And so she was unable to either confirm or deny that. We're going to keep digging till we get to the bottom of that. We're also very concerned about the one person who was arrested in conjunction with the Benghazi attack. He was arrested in Tunisia and was let go by the Tunisian government. And they were a little gray on that, but that should never have happened either. That person should be in custody. You know what this comes down to is the president has said that the Al-Qaeda has been decimated. Well, this decimated group continues to kill Americans in Benghazi and Algiers and elsewhere, and we're going to have to be tougher.
I want to ask you as well about something the secretary said during her testimony this week. Of course, she was pushed about the various explanations that the American people were given up front about whether this is something that stemmed from a video and from a protest, whether it was a coordinated attack. And at one point she said something to the effect of, what difference does it make how this started? We have 4 dead Americans. That's the bottom line. To you, does it make a difference about how this started and what we know about that?
Right. It makes a tremendous amount of difference. She's correct in that there are 4 Americans that are dead. How that happened is critically important, not the least of which is to the families who deserve answers. But secondly, if we are going to take steps to see that this never happens again, how can you take those steps if you don't know how it happened and you don't know what motivated it and you don't know what the steps were leading up to it? So with all due respect to the secretary, I disagree with her on that answer.
What about the issue of funding? Because there was a lot of discussion about that in both her Senate and House hearings about whether the State Department had the money it needed, the funding it needed to adequately protect folks who are serving as our diplomats around the world.
Right. Well, that discussion really ignored the fact that since 2004, that security funding has doubled, has more than doubled. It was over $600 million in 2004. Now it's at about $1.35 billion. Obviously, they have got to allocate the resources where they believe it is needed the most. But more importantly, if indeed they don't have the resources for a given location, such as Benghazi, if they felt they didn't have enough, then what you got to do is close the mission and, above all, protect the Americans that are working there. These State Department people are hardworking people. They represent our interests well around the world. They deserve our security. They deserve us giving them the protection they need to do their job.
I want to ask you about a domestic issue the State Department has been involved with as well. The Keystone XL Pipeline this week, Nebraska's governor signing off on the route that's been proposed. And you signed on to a letter calling for this administration to move forward. How hopeful are you that's going to happen in a timely fashion?
Well, of course, you're always hopeful that that's going to happen. I don't know about a timely fashion. I guess I don't understand it. I come from a different position than the administration does. I want to see energy resources developed in this country. To me, this is an absolute no-brainer. I know the environmental community wants to stop this because they want to stop using oil and petrochemicals. The fact is, not doing this pipeline is not going to affect that at all. This material, this oil, is going to go to China if we don't put it into a pipeline, bring it into America, and use it to create jobs here in America and lower the cost of energy here in the United States.
And the president walking a bit of a tightrope, calls from environmentalists, but also calls from union members who want to see this pipeline approved. How do you think he'll find that delicate balance and make a decision?
You know, it's hard to say, except that if you look at what he did last time, he had to make this call. He sided not with the unions, but with the environmentalists, and I think he's wrong on that. The unions are absolutely right. This is job creation, pure, unadulterated job creation that will really help America's use of its natural resources and create jobs. So I think the president's been wrong on this. I would hope that he takes another look at it and reaches the right decision. I'll applaud it if he does.
Senator Risch, we thank you for your time today, sir.
Thank you.